Now, troops of the Nigerian military has neutralized 2,351 terrorists, 2,308 persons arrested, and 1,241 kidnapped hostages rescued. Director Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, who made the disclosure at the bi-weekly first quarter press briefing in Abuja, explained that troops also recovered 2,847 weapons, 58,492 ammunition, and denied the oil theft of an estimated sum of over 20 billion naira. While expressing its readiness to focus on what to do with these terrorists and their cohorts, DMO noted that the armed forces is fighting a vicious enemy in the ongoing operations across the country. DMO says its aims is to kill these terrorists and the infrastructure that supports them, as it has been collecting intelligence, hunting them and striking them where they may be hiding and hibernating.
2024 has resulted in 2,351 terrorists neutralized, 2,308 persons arrested, and 1,241 kidnapped hostages rescued in the first quarter. Furthermore, troops recovered in this first quarter 2,847 weapons and over 58,000 assorted ammunitions. And we denied the oil theft of over 20 billion naira in this first quarter of 2024. The breakdown is as follows. We recovered 1,497 AK-47 rifles. We recovered over 33,000 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition and over 12,000 rounds of 7.62 NATO ammunition, as well as 948 assorted arms and over 5,000 assorted ammunition. Other achievements within this first quarter includes the recovery of over 21,000 liters of stolen crude oil, over 2.7 million liters of illegally refined AGO, otherwise known as diesel, over 53,000 liters of DPK, otherwise known as kerosene, and over 52,000 liters of PMS, otherwise known as petrol.
To discuss this latest from the Nigerian military, I'm joined by a security expert, Dr. Awal Abdullahi. Dr. Abdullahi, it's good to have you on tonight. Given the ongoing operations against terrorism in the country, as a security expert, what specific tactics and strategies do you think have proven most effective in neutralizing these terrorist threats and dismantling their infrastructure?
Military, thank you for having me. It's what I will call military-civil relationship. Credible and timely intelligence, use of the civil-military relationship and getting credible and timely intelligence. Synergy between security agencies, between the tri-service itself, and synergy between security agencies, as well as the strategy put together by the Defense Headquarters under the able leadership of the professional but very administrative Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Gwabin Musa, whom have come with a new strategy, whom have adopted a new approach, who have come with new skills on how to tackle insecurity generally, kidnappings, cattle rustling, banditry, Boko Haram, and general insecurity across the Federation. These are things that has been adopted, like I said, new strategy, new technique, new approach that is coming up under the able leadership of this officer gentleman, the Chief of Defense General Sidi Musa. He had this way of reaching out. He has this way of extracting information. He has this way of getting it when it is supposed to be and then walking the talk. As he get the information, he walk the talk. And this is why you are having this great achievement within the first quarter. And believe me, like the director of Defense Media Operation has said, they are expecting to achieve more. And I believe if the tempo continues the way it is, with the strategy has been adopted, with the civil-military relation, with interagency relation, with working towards getting information, not waiting for the information, but working towards getting the information from where it's supposed to be gotten, and also having credible and timely intelligence. Believe me, the security situation in Nigeria is getting better and is going to be much more improved, more than the way it is right now, because the guy at the helm of affairs is very willing to work.
We certainly hope so. But then again, there's always the concern about the innocent getting entangled. How does the military, how would you advise they ensure that those detained are properly processed and that innocent individuals are not wrongly targeted?
I will refer you to what happened just last week. You will recall, as a journalist and as a television, some court gave a verdict, a ruling, after a certain time of detention of a certain group of people, and then there was no evidence to prove their involvement in crime and criminalities. A court gave an order that they should be released. And then the armed forces under the leadership of the Chief of Defense Staff actually released them, and the information is flying everywhere. This is the first time that a court will be given a ruling based on the fact that there is no substantial evidence to prosecute those arrested. And then the armed forces under the leadership of the Chief of Defense Staff are obliged to release them as directed by the court. This is a modern military, a military that is led under the able leadership and modernization of the armed forces, where the armed forces listen to other sectors of the Nigerian leadership, where the military listen to the instructions or the verdict of the court for as long as the people or the verdict does not constitute a national security threat, for as long as the people that the instruction has been issued for them to be released are found not to truly be guilty, or there is no substantial evidence to prove their guilt, or an allegation that is whatever offense that has been alleged to have they have been committed, either through conspiracy or passing information, or being gun runners, or alleged to be attempting to commit crime. This is the first time, like I said, that you are having this kind of a thing. So the innocent will continue to be released for as long as they are mistakenly being arrested, for as long as they do not have culpable contribution, or they did not in any way be part or try to assist those that are committing crime or are attempting to commit crime. For as long as anybody, whoever he is, that has been arrested on an allegation or suspicion, and then he's found not to be guilty of the crime as alleged or as being suspected, believe me, General Sidi Musa, as the Chief of Defense Staff, will make sure that such people do not continue to be detained, also do not get harmed, because he, like I said,
in the interest of time,
a seasoned administrator.
In the interest of time, so I just have one more question for you. Bearing in mind what happened in December, and the military had some explanation, civilians were affected. So I'd like to ask specifically to the general's comment about kill terrorists and the infrastructure that supports them. How does the military balance this aggressive approach with minimizing civilian casualties to avoid what happened earlier, and keeping international humanitarian laws?
Believe me, the armed forces under the Chief of Defense Staff, General C.G. Musa, are very mindful of the situation. They are very mindful of human rights. You just heard me qualify him as a professional soldier and a seasoned administrator. So combination of the two. And don't forget, this man has a department called the Civil Military Relations Department. All these things are geared towards ensuring that those that are not supposed to be affected by military operations are not affected, unless if circumstances that come and then nothing can be done about it, unless so. Otherwise, intentionally, I can guarantee you that there will be no way how people that are innocent will be involved in killing. But then you have
I guess unintentional cases, I think that's where people are a lot more concerned about, because nobody will willingly or willfully do such a thing. So the idea and the plan is to minimize it. I'm sorry to interject, but that's the much time will permit us for this conversation. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Now, staying with the military, Nigeria's army has dismissed claims that it is taking over the responsibility of the police in the investigation of persons complicit in the killing of 17 military personnel in Okwama, Delta State. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, during a briefing with newsmen, says that the army is working in partnership with the police to unearth the killers. He urged those recently declared wanted to emulate the monarch in Delta State who recently surrendered himself to the police, saying there will be no hiding place for those involved.
We put out posters of 8 persons wanted in connection with the killing. And there is a manhunt for those persons. One of them, the traditional ruler, submitted himself, and we wish that others will do the same. The situation is that there is a joint investigation team. And this joint investigation team has the police, who is the lead in cases of this nature where investigations are to be carried out. The investigation is ongoing. And I believe that some things are better left unsaid at this stage.
The Nigerian army has accused the media of being biased in reporting the activities of its personnel. This is coming at a time the nation is still mourning the 17 soldiers that were ambushed and murdered at Okwama community in Ughelli South local government area of Delta State, South Nigeria. News Central's correspondent, Austin Azu, completes the report.
It's the Nigeria Army Civil Military Cooperation Media Chart first quarter 2024, aimed at enhancing national security, holding in Asaba, Delta State capital. Heads of media establishments, practitioners, paramilitary delegates, special guests of honors, including top military brass, converged on this hall to deliberate and examine the theme of the event, imperatives of military media partnership for the attainment of national security.
Through our collaboration with the media, the Nigerian Army ensures that accurate and balanced information reach the public, dispelling misinformation and rumors that can sow public distrust.
We must understand that either as military officer, as military men, or as media men, we're all working for the same goal, public good, common good of our own nation. So what you should ask yourself as a journalist when you do a report is that what will be the impact of that report on all society, the community, and the entire society.
In his keynote address, Chief of Army Staff, represented by the GOC, 6th Division, Lance Component and Commander, JTF South-South Operation Delta Save, urged the media to refrain from inevitably amplifying the activities of terrorists, bandits, militants, among others, who he described as enemies of the nation. He harped on robust synergy with the media towards nation building.
In this regard, the unprovoked killing of some of our troops carrying out their constitutional assignments in Okoma community in Delta State comes to mind. The dastardly act was executed in the most barbaric and cruel manner, which is unacceptable and condemnable. More worrisome was the orchestrated use of disinformation to misguide the public about the true accounts of the incident, while clasping aspersions on the professional conduct of the personnel deployed to the area.
The State Commissioner of Information commended the Nigerian military for the engagement and urged for its sustainability.
And this is why I again extol the Nigerian Army for considering it worth the while to partner with the media, especially given the crucial and unique functions of the media in the role of an information activist for an informed public and responsible organizations.
The guest speakers expanded conversation on the enhancing national security through military media engagements and promoting military media trust for improved public support towards addressing Nigeria's security challenges. The chat featured spanning discussion as a minute silence was observed for the 17 soldiers killed in Okoma community and others that lost their lives in the course of national assignments. In Asaba for News Central, I'm Austin Azu.
Many thanks, Austin. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Ezewuike, has been called to order by the Afenifere Progressive Youths Movement following his recent remarks on the 2023 general election. Wike has been accused of claiming he was instrumental to the electoral success of President Bola Tinubu. While speaking to newsmen in Lagos, the youth said the president has always been a colossal force in Nigerian politics, and his victory was in no way tied to the activities of Wike.
It is not a needing secret that the FCT minister is a liability to this present administration, and it would be common sense if he turned a new leaf and channeled his energy towards serving our indefatigable president for magnanimity, saving him from political obscurity. The FCT minister cannot take credit for what he didn't give. It is tantamount to ingratitude that is uncharitable and will be resisted by the Afenifere Progressive Youth Movement. It is an aberration and, of course, a joke taken too far. It could be in the best interest of the FCT minister to desist from such enterprise and channel his energies to more productive ventures in serving our fatherland, Nigeria.
Now, let's tell you that Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has tasked members of the 6th legislature of the ECOWAS Parliament to unite and face the challenges affecting the ECOWAS community headlong. This was during the inauguration of the 6th legislature of the ECOWAS Parliament in Abuja, where he urged the regional lawmakers to ensure that they contribute their quota to the growth and development of the ECOWAS community. Amadine Uyi reports.
It was the inauguration of the 6th legislature of the ECOWAS Parliament. In attendance were new regional lawmakers, comprising the old returning members of the Parliament, representatives from the ECOWAS Commission, senior members of both Nigeria's executive and legislative arms of government, amongst others.
The ECOWAS Parliament, since its formation, has contributed efficiently and effectively to the implementation of the objectives of the community in its unending quest to strengthen representative democracy across the region. Today's transition, therefore, provides fresh opportunity to renew that commitment and contribute further to a more prosperous future for the people of West Africa.
This is a very significant moment for our organization as we witness the transition of leadership and the commencement of a new chapter in our journey towards regional integration.
As we gather here, we are reminded of the noble ideas upon which this esteemed institution was founded to promote peace, stability, and socio-economic development across the diverse and vibrant West African sub-region.
The president of the ECOWAS Commission reminded the regional lawmakers of the challenges facing the community as part of his message to the parliament.
As we gather today, our region is faced with threats to peace and security, as well as poverty. As you all know, and as if that is not enough, our region is now faced with the risks of disintegration.
Also, President Bola Tinubu, who was a special guest of honor at the occasion, urged parliamentarians to unite and face the challenges facing the ECOWAS community headlong. He challenged them to live up to the expectations of residents of the community.
As we inaugurate the 6th legislature, it is evident that we face profound challenges in our region that demand our unified effort. At this critical junction, regional solidarity is imperative to strengthening our resiliency and effectiveness as a bloc, particularly against forces that aim to divide us. We must not allow this. We cannot afford to remain passive and ordinary spectators while our community faces the threat of disintegration.
The 6th legislature is expected to serve a term of 4 years. President Tinubu also tasked the members to surpass the achievements of the outgoing 5th legislature. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadin Uyi.
The Lagos state government had on March 30 announced the planned reopening of the Third Mainland Bridge for today, April 4, 2024, after extensive repair work. News Centre's Bettina Uweli observed the reopening in this report.
After weeks of unending stress and extra hours of commuting from the mainland to the island and vice versa, the Third Mainland Bridge has finally been opened, and Lagosians are excited.
We were waiting for days like this that they would open, because this thing makes us, when we are not supposed to leave home, we leave home. So we are so happy to see.
For a very long time now, we have been having challenge with movement especially from the island to the mainland. But I think with the new development, I think the transportation stress will reduce to a large extent.
Speaking to journalists on behalf of the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, Olukorede Keisha, Controller of Works, Lagos State, said the successful completion of the first phase of the rehabilitation works is a clear indication that President Bola Tinubu is working.
I would like to warmly thank the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Tinubu, for his commitment to the provision of infrastructure developments of Nigeria.
It's partially shut down in January, and we promised the federal government, of course, through the Federal Ministry of Works, did a fantastic job, and they gave a timeline of 5 months. I must say that they've done a fantastic job, and in less than 5 months, the bridge has been completed.
The Controller of Works, Olukorede Keisha, also revealed that work has already begun on the underwater damage to the bridge, which is the second phase of the rehabilitation works on the bridge. She equally revealed plans to commence work on the Kata Bridge, which she says is scheduled to start as the contractor handling the project has already been mobilized.
I want to tell you that the job is about 95% completed, not 100%, but other works that are remaining to be done can be ongoing while traffic move on the bridge. What we have outstanding now is just provision of solar lights, and the contractor is actually working. One bound is almost completed, the median is almost completed, then we'll now move to the ramps, and then we have the CCTV and the guardrails.
The Lagos State Traffic Management Authority has warned motorists to observe speed limits when traveling along the extensive section of the newly repaired Third Mainland Bridge. Motorists are urged to observe all traffic signs and installed technological equipment connected to traffic. In Lagos, for News Central, Bettina Nwili.
Inspector General of Police Olukayode Egbetoku has promised that the International Criminal Police Organization will soon rearrest Nadeem Anjarwalla, the Binance Regional Africa manager who escaped from custody in Nigeria. Egbetoku said this on Thursday while fielding questions from journalists at the Nigerian Police Force headquarters in Abuja. Anjarwalla, 38, escaped from custody on Friday, March 22, 2024, from a safe house where he and his colleague were detained. The IG further revealed that kidnapping and murder cases have increased in the past 8 weeks, as the Nigerian police recorded 214 cases of kidnapping and 537 homicide cases. Let's also tell you that residents of Umuahia, Abia State capital, are again faced with an unexplained situation of cash withdrawal restrictions by commercial banks. The customers since last week have been made to visit more than one bank in a day to make withdrawals that can meet their demands. News Center's Chinwe Ugele reports.
In the wake of banks' recapitalization policy announced recently by the Central Bank of Nigeria, commercial banks in Umuahia, the Abia State capital, may have set a new cash withdrawal limit for its customers. Some people say the banks adopted the measure in order to help boost their capital and meet up with the central bank's order. Unfortunately, this move has its adverse effects on the customers in so many ways.
They have wasted my time with just 5,000 naira they paid to me. Yes, I've gone to the other one, they gave me 5,000. I went to the other one, the same 5,000.
Is it from the counter or POS?
From the counter.
Recently, if you go to the bank, they will tell you that the cash they will give you is 5,000. Maybe you want like 1,500, they will tell you that they can pay you 5,000. If you like now, I tried the ATM, I couldn't even make use of the ATM because the ATM machine is not even working. They blocked them.
Some say it is unfair for the banks to subject their customers to such conditions whilst claiming there is no money.
So it ain't right, you know. People just have the right to their own money because it's their money. They put their money there. So the bank is supposed to help the people protect their money and give the people the money whenever they need them. You understand? Instead of hoarding their money.
They're paying 10,000 and it's really frustrating. Like I have a lot of need that I need to fix out with cash now. Like I need like 50,000. It's funny that the bank cannot pay me 50,000. I went to that Access Bank at Gate now. Now I'm coming from that Access Bank from Gate to this bank road here now. Well, I'm sure that what I'll get here now is also 10,000, which is not even enough. After all this rest now, I'll still go and run POS, collect the money and pay the POS. It has not been easy.
For each customer, the story is that of disappointment, stress and pain, and they are calling on the authorities to wade in and address the situation. For the most part of the time that the Nigerian government has made policies, they have turned out to be anti-people. From the removal of petrol subsidy last year to the cashless economy introduced by the CBN, and now the recapitalization of banks, all have thrown people into some sort of agony. But the question remains, must the customers suffer to get their money from the banks after they have put them there to secure them? In Umuahia for News Central, Chinwe Ugele.
Abuja Electricity Distribution Company has apologized to its customers over the wrongful billing of the new tariff rate. The firm attributed the development to a system glitch. This was disclosed in a tweet by the company's X handle on Thursday. The Commission's vice chairman said the increase will see the customers paying 225 naira kilowatt per hour from the current 66 naira. In its apology message, the AEDC noted that some Band A customers were wrongfully charged while recharging their meters, while former Band A customers who had been downgraded to Band B were charged a new tariff of 225 naira per kilowatt hour. Senegal's new president, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, and new Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko attend a flag-raising ceremony for the 64th anniversary of Senegal's independence at the presidential palace in Dakar. Senegal has just elected Faye as its 5th and youngest president after sweeping to a first-round election victory on a promise of radical reform just 10 days after being released from prison. Former President Macky Sall had earlier postponed the presidential election that was scheduled to take place on February 25, which sparked protests across the country. On February 15, the Constitutional Council overruled Sall, and the country eventually fixed the election for March 25th. And that's where we wrap things up tonight. Would like to hear from you. Please send your eyewitness reports to the number showing now on your screen, or you could follow us on social media at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and on YouTube. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good night.